All right, let's take a look at one more example here. Right here, I have Dell and HP. Okay, now Dell here will assume that they could price their computers at $1,000, and they could price, or they can price at $800. While HP, they can price their computers at $900, or they can price at $700. Okay, these are each player's strategies. My two players here are HP and Dell. Okay, so what do we expect to happen here? How do we solve this? Here's the algorithm. Okay, Dell could either price at $1,000 or $1,800. What they're going to do is assume, right, that HP charges $900. Where would they be better off? They would be better off over here, right? Charging $800 because they get 15. We'll say M stands for $1 million in profits, right? Over here, right, we're going to do the same thing. Assume that, hey, if HP charges $700, where would Dell be better off? Well, here, look. Dell would get $7 million if they charged $800, and they would get $5 million if they charged $1,000. Right? This is $7 million is more than $5 million, right? So good, they would charge $800. We'll do the same thing for Dell. If Dell decides to price at, we'll do the same thing for HP. Right? HP can choose either or here, $900 or $700. If Dell prices at $1,000, where would they be better off? Well, right over here, right, at $700. If Dell prices at $800, where would HP be better off? Also, right over here. Okay, good. Each player pursues their dominant strategy. This is our Nash equilibrium. And E here for Nash equilibrium is what? Dell plays or chooses. Dell strategy would be 800, while HP is 700. Okay, this is their Nash equilibrium. Is this a Nash equilibrium? I'm sorry, is this a prisoner's dilemma? Sure it is, right? Each player is pursuing their dominant strategy, leads them to a worse outcome than if they would have pursued if they would have got together and colluded. Okay, this is kind of a real world example, I guess, of, you know, two firms, right, using game theory here. All right, so here we have this game which we solved earlier. Okay, but we assume this is what we called a simultaneous game, right? Simultaneous game. We played this. So the key idea here is that we played this one time. Okay? Good. This is what we called, again, simultaneous move game, right? What do we mean by a simultaneous move game? Is that, again, each player plays this strategy at the same time. Right, we'll also assume that we play this game one time. Okay, one time. This is the only time. So we played this once, and that was it. All right, now in reality, do these firms play this game one time? Actually, no. Right? Sometimes they play this game repeatedly. Okay, so good. This is a way we can kind of try to escape from this prisoner's dilemma. Okay, the repeated game. All right, some games we play an infinite number of times, right? Some games we play a given number of times, right? Now, when we play a repeated game, the strategy changes a little bit. Here we take into account past behaviors, okay? So, we'll talk about 3 strategies, right, when we're trying to deal with these repeated games, okay? The first strategy is what we call Grim Trigger. Okay, Grim Trigger. Okay, these are called trigger strategies. Okay, so basically, all of these we'll call trigger strategies. Okay, now the idea here is if we take a look over here, right? Now, if we play this game one time, I have no incentive, if I'm Dell, to ever charge $1,000, and if I'm HP, I don't have an incentive to charge $900. Okay, this is the idea here. Okay, now, okay, good. Now, however, if I play this game over and over, well, the strategy I use is going to change. Why? Because I would basically get higher profits, right, if I were to, or a higher outcome, if both players were to play this strategy, these strategies right over here, repeatedly, right? Think about it. If I play this game many times over and over and over, right, if we each got 10 million each round we played, well, that would be greater than if we would play this game repeatedly over and over and got 7 million, okay? So good. If we were to both cooperate with each other, we would play, Del would play 1,000 and HP would choose 900 over here. Okay. Now we talk about trigger strategies, right? The first trigger strategy we'll talk about is Grim Trigger here. Right? So basically any decision by your opponent to defect, right, or choose basically, this strategy right over here, right, is met by permanent retaliation. Okay, what does that mean? So think about this. Let's assume that we're playing, Del is playing this strategy and HP is playing this strategy right over here. Right? Everybody's happy. We play this game round after round. We play this repeatedly. Right? But one day HP gets a little selfish and they say, you know what? Let me decrease my price here to 700. Let me play this strategy in order to get this $15 million profit. Okay? Good. Well, they've gotten 15 million this round, but then what's HP going to do? For every round that follows, they will always play 800. Okay? And HP would never ever get back to this strategy or to this outcome right over here. Okay? So we'll put here any decision to defect, and by defect we mean just to choose the other strategy, right? To not be at this cooperative equilibrium over here, right? Say is met by permanent retaliation. Okay, good. The second strategy, so this strategy here, this trigger strategy, not that effective. Okay. The second strategy is what we call a trembling hand. Okay, trembling hand. My hand is shaking, right? Trembling hand. What does that mean? Well, basically, let's say we're both cooperating over here. Okay. Now, one day HP decides to, again, they're going to charge 700 and get this higher payoff, right? We'll forgive them this one time, right, as long as they come back here. Okay, but if they do it again, then we'll come down here and we'll never ever come back, right? We'll always play 800 and we'll never play this 1000. Okay, so we'll say this allows for the other player to defect, we'll say a given number of times. Right, maybe you'll let them defect once, maybe you'll let them defect twice, right? But hey, after 3, then I'll come to this over here. Okay, good. This is after a given number of times. Okay, it could be once, could be twice, could be a million. All right, the last strategy, and this tends to be the most effective strategy, is the tit for tat. Tit for tat strategy. All right, what is tit for tat strategy? Basically, this means I repeat what the other player did in the previous rounds, right? So, let's say, January, we both charge this. February, we're charging these prices right here. March, HP decides to charge 700, right? What's Del going to do in April? They're going to charge 800. Okay, they're going to choose this strategy down over here, right? If HP decides to go back to 900 over here in April, then basically in May, Del would come back over here. Okay, good. Basically, whatever they did in the prior rounds is what the firm would do in the next rounds. Okay, so let's write this down. Right. So say this repeats the prior move of competitor. Okay, good. And this is in repeated game. All right. Basically, the idea here is rewards you for cooperating and it punishes you from defecting, right? For coming over here. All right, good. These are all strategies in a repeated game. Okay, this is when we play this game over and over and over. One-time game, I have no incentive to play this here, right? I play this right down over here. Okay. All right. Excellent.